Rise of Kingdoms just released new patch notes that reveal a new KVK story, and it touches on Pincer 2, a new commander. So let's jump in and see what is coming to the game in just 1 week. But before we do, of course, what's going on, guys? Cheers. Now, as you guys know, I'm a partner creator with Rise of Kingdoms, so if you want more Rise of Kingdoms content, subscribe down below and click that bell so you don't miss breaking news. And while you're down there, leave a like on the video. It really helps out the channel a ton. Okay, update 1.1.10 Starry Rendezvous is coming on July 30th, so that is in 1 week. And the first thing they touch on here is the Night of Seven Qixi event series. Not sure if I pronounced that properly, my apologies, but apparently we are celebrating the Qixi festival with the new Night of Sevens event series. So we'll get Esmeralda's Prayer. Okay, love that. Esmeralda's Collection. Try your luck and win some of Esmeralda's riches unveiled. Collect palette knives and use them to restore murals, uncovering treasures hidden beneath. Arms training Lohar. Love to see that coming back. Runes among ruins. Follow clues to recover lost runes and claim rewards every day. I don't know if we've seen that before. Maybe they've just changed the name, I'm not sure. And then Governor's Choice. Let roses carry appreciation and affection. Who will be the most popular governor in all the kingdoms? See the event calendar for detailed schedule. Okay, cool. So most of these events we've seen before. Maybe one of these is different, not really sure. Here we've got new event and commander. So this is singular. We've got one commander. Okay, new Radiant Rivalry event pioneer. 2 adjacent kingdoms will be matched to fight as rivals for glory. During the preparation phase, kingdom members must complete preparation quests to earn points. At the end of each day, the kingdom with higher points scores 1 for that day. At the end of the preparation phase, the kingdom with the higher score will be able to teleport to the losing kingdom and contest the Radiant Spire. The opposing kingdom must defend its Radiant Spire during the ensuing battle. Okay, so this looks like, I mean, maybe it'll be something like pre-KVK, where one day it's like, you know, kill a bunch of marauders, the next day is marauder forts, whatever the case might be. I'm expecting this to be multiple days of preparation phase, and each day will have, you know, a couple of different things you have to do as a kingdom, and whichever kingdom wins most of those days becomes the attacker during this event, and the loser becomes the defender. Okay, now this event has existed in other games similar to Rise of Kingdoms, but this is different than something like KVK where we teleport into Lost Kingdom, because it says here during the battle phase, both kingdoms will battle within the territory of the losing kingdom to seize the Radiant Spire. Okay, now I don't know where is the Radiant Spire going to be. Is it going to temporarily take the place of the center of the map? Is it gonna be off in some corner somewhere? I don't know exactly how that's going to work, but basically the enemy kingdom that beats you in the pioneer event will be teleporting into your kingdom. Okay, into your home kingdom. Kind of crazy, really cool stuff. I'm really curious to know what the restrictions are going to be here, if any. Like, obviously you're not going to be able to attack enemy cities if they're on territory, but like, can you burn enemy flags if they're in their own home kingdom, right? Like, are we going to be fighting home kingdom flags again? Because the math is totally different for how war works with that in terms of like number of troops that go inside the flag. And also I think there's a difference in sev wound percentage, right? Crusader flags, which you have in Lost Kingdom, 75% of defenders are sev wounds, but in your home kingdom, alliance flags have 50% sev wounds for defending troops, right? So like the math, like literally the math of sev wound trades is just literally different in home kingdom when we're talking about rally garrison. So I'm curious to know if that's going to be affected at all. It would be kind of savage if they just let another kingdom come into your home kingdom and start burning flags, but like, we'll have to wait and see how this event actually works here and where the Radiant Spire is even located. But either way, this event will first be available in select new kingdoms as a pioneer experience, and then they kind of end this new event section by saying a new legendary gathering commander, Yahya ibn Khalid, sorry, I'm probably butchering that, I do apologize, is coming soon. This commander can be recruited starting in season 1. Please refer to in-game events for details on how to obtain this commander. Okay, this commander was revealed quite a while ago at this point at an in-person meetup when we first learned about Vercingetorix. So we knew this commander was coming. It is a gold gathering commander as far as I can remember correctly. I think VIP support revealed that or something. I assume they'll eventually be in the gold keys. Okay, so I don't think this is anything like super crazy that we have to worry about, but of course it'll be interesting to see when they land in the game if there's anything on their kit that is fundamentally different than what we would expect from a season 1 gold gathering commander. All right, next let's take a look at the Season of Conquest adjustments. Okay, the first thing, and this is big, new Season of Conquest story, Mighty Assembly Pioneer, coming soon. This new Season of Conquest story will have new bastions. In this new story, when your favor with a commander reaches a certain level, you can unlock at most 3 support skills and select 1 to equip. Now that is really cool. Okay, well actually it's simultaneously really cool and really annoying, and the reason for that is because let's take a commander, like for example, let's jump over to, I don't know, Takeda, right? Okay, so Takeda, they say you can have up to 3 commanders. This is a bastion commander, right? In some KVKs you can find Takeda as a bastion, and if you can have up to 3 skills as bastion skills, well okay, it's probably not going to be the active skill. Maybe it is, right? I mean, like maybe, I don't know, that would be absolutely busted if you could just start equipping active skills to things, which wasn't there a KVK where you could do that? I don't know, I've been playing this game for too long. Okay, but either way, let's assume that we can't take the active skill. Okay, so the only other 3 skills available would be these 3 right here. All right, and so now you can kind of choose which of these 3 skills might move the needle the most for you, which is really cool, and I really like that, especially for commanders that like really just don't have anything else to offer. So for example, like if we take a look at Zenobia, right? Zenobia has a skill here, 20% health, 20% attack for infantry, and you deal 10% more to rallied armies, right? Which is really, really good. But some of these skills are exclusively for garrisons, right? And so it might be the case that if you're a field fighter, you would grab the skill that works in the field, and if you're an infantry garrison player, then okay, obviously you might grab one of these garrison skills, right? The downside of this is that now if you want that choice, you're gonna need to have those skills maxed, right? So in the past, like for example, my Zenobia, I used to have her expertise, right? I don't know if you guys remember this, but my Zenobia used to be expertise. She is no longer expertise, and that is because I did the commander reset event for Zenobia, right? I was able to get like 680 sculptures back for her or something insane like that, and it was just a no-brainer, right? Because I'm never leading a garrison, and even if I am, it's never with Zenobia, it's going to be with Gorgo, right? So I just had no use for Zenobia ever. And then I did buy a couple of dailies for her to get this skill back up, I think, or maybe I did have a couple of sculptures left over in her, I don't remember exactly. Oh, actually, yeah, it tells me right here. So I had 80 Zenobia sculptures. Okay, so I don't know how that works, but either way, when I put skills into her, I tried to avoid the active skill. I tried to just put skills here because of the bastion, right? Now that makes sense for Zenobia because I'm not going to use these others ever, but if we're talking about an open field commander where multiple of the skills might be relevant in a bastion, now it might be better to literally just have more older commanders expertise. Does that make sense? That was kind of a long-winded roundabout way to say that now that this new Season of Conquest story lets you choose your support skills, you have a disproportionate advantage by having all skills maxed but for all commanders, right? So that's just kind of the pros and cons, right? The pros, you can choose your skill, of course, that's fantastic. The cons, you know, you're going to need more skills maxed, right? So that's that. Moving on, Altar of Ashes, a brand new building Altar of Ashes will be added in the new story. Altars of Ashes are located near the Altar of Darkness and can be occupied in the same way. The Altar of Ashes grants a small amount of honor points, and each governor may dispatch up to 3 troops to the Altar of Darkness and its surrounding areas. Okay, now this was also something that was revealed in the past. I don't know if it was a face-to-face with the developers or in like an update video or something like that, but they did show off, I believe, or was this at an in-person meetup? I don't remember exactly, but they did reveal that they were considering changing Altar of Darkness to have the main zone and then smaller zones, and you know, you could dispatch up to 3 troops, right? And so you can send all 3 troops to the main altar, or you could send 2 to the main altar and 1 to the small one just to farm some points, or you could send, you know, 2 to the main altar and 1 to the enemy side of the Altar of Ashes. I don't know, but either way, they've announced this before. This will be really cool to see how this changes altar fights now that you can bring 3 troops instead of 1. So I'm really interested to see how that works, especially with you know, obviously it's still a small area. They're expanding it a little bit here, but even still it's a tiny spot. So it's going to be interesting to see how many people just send 3 to the main altar, right? And just duke it out, or maybe you can only send 1 to each part of the altar. We'll have to wait and see how this actually works. Moving on, Pioneer for new Alliance Stadium building in Heroic Anthem. Now this is something that they've announced before, but now they give us more details here. The leader of the alliance that occupies the Crusader Fortress may assign stadiums to alliances within the same camp. Assigned alliances may then construct the building. Alliance stadiums have 2 fixed teleport destinations. Only governors who teleport to these these locations can dispatch troops to fight in stadium duels. Cities at these locations cannot be attacked. During these stadium duels, attackers and defenders may deploy multiple troops through rallies and garrisons. The system will control troops from both sides for one-on-one battles. The defeated side can select the next troop from their lineup until one side achieves victory. Okay, so this is basically like the Colosseum from the Song of Troy, although it's a little different because you actually have to teleport in order to participate in the Alliance Stadium. Okay, in the Troy KVK, you just send your troops and they just go. Here you have to teleport in. This is also through rally and garrison. I don't think it was considered rally and garrison for Song of Troy, so I don't know how that's actually going to work. So I think it's going to be slightly different, but it sounds very similar. Okay, story registration optimization for stories with fixed pass opening times. A new reminder bubble has been added to the top right corner of the story page, allowing governors to view relevant details more easily. That is huge. Okay, really good stuff. I know that it's so annoying for alliance leaders and kingdom leadership to kind of like, you know, extrapolate out to when is pass 7, when is Kingsland going to be, if we register for this KVK now, that way I can tell, you know, so and so who might have a vacation, or the, you know, like it's really this is huge. So I'm really happy to see this. Also, I know at some point in the past they mentioned that the big fights would be reserved for weekends now, and I really hope that that is already live. If not, hopefully it goes live with this, because that is one of the things that they said would help combat piloting, is that, you know, if the big fights happen on the weekend where most people have off, even around the world they have off, then okay, now you're less likely to need somebody else to play for you, right? Which is great. In my current KVK, that was not the case. I think Pass 7 opened on like a Monday or something, or like a Friday, and Kingsland opened on Monday. I don't remember exactly the days, but either way, it was all like weekday fighting, which was crazy. Yeah, Pass 7 was on Friday, and then Pass 8 was on Monday, which is just like absolutely insane. But either way, glad to see that. Now, the other thing that I want to point out here is that they did not mention a new set of commanders or commander for the Mighty Assembly Pioneer KVK, right? So usually what we see with, or historically, like with Song of Troy or with King of All Britain, what we saw was they announced a new special KVK story, and they revealed that new commanders would be coming with that. Here they're revealing a new Season of Conquest story, but said nothing about new commanders, right? The only new commander we heard about here was for the Yaya, right? For the Gathering commander, which was in a separate bullet point. So one of two things could be true, right? Either archers are about to get shafted and they're just not going to get a new KVK commander, right? Like we saw Ragnar Prime is infantry, we saw Achilles, that's cavalry. The community, the expectation has been, which there's really, let me be very clear here, there is no reason to assume that this will happen, but the community at large, myself included, has been expecting that a new special KVK story would feature a new archer, right? That's kind of what the community has been expecting. Again, that is expectation, that is not reality, that does not have to happen, right? So do not bank on that, but there is a chance that it happens. Okay, here they do not reveal that at all. Now, that's number one, is that maybe there just isn't a new special KVK story with an archer, and then archers just get shafted. The second thing is that perhaps this is not the only Season of Conquest story coming in 2026, right? Because this is not a special Season of Conquest story. Perhaps this is just a new KVK, right? I mean, it's just a new Season of Conquest. In the past, like with Song of Troy, they referred to that as a key Season of Conquest story, right? So again, maybe I'm looking too much into the wording here, maybe it doesn't really matter, but what I'm trying to say is that perhaps this is just another Season of Conquest variant, and then the special key story is coming later this year, or like I said, this is the special story and archers just get shafted. Or the third option is that this is the special story or the big key KVK event of the year, and they just haven't told us yet that there's new commanders coming with it, right? They just didn't mention the bullet point. So lots of different things to keep in mind here, but I did just want to point that out. If this is the key story and there are no archers because it's not mentioned here, that is something to know. Let's move on to the next section here. Battle and command optimizations, updated pincer formation and related armaments. Updated formation effect of the user's troop deals 12% more smite damage. Okay, so that is just 2% more smite damage than is currently in the game. And by the way, this is not Pincer 2. Okay, this is just Pincer is changing from 10 to 12, so you don't have to do anything. You're just going to get that. Okay, so that's that. The formation itself is getting stronger. The armaments that are coming to the game are going to be new, and you will have to acquire those new armaments, and those new armaments will have the new inscriptions, okay, which we don't really know any effects of yet, but we will know soon. They said related armaments can be obtained through travels, dispatches, formation choice chests, random armament chests, and other events. Like I said in my video where I told you how to prepare for this, I said to save your formation choice chests because they would put them in there immediately, and it looks like I was right about that. So if you watched that video, which I released like a week ago, then you've already had a week head start preparing for this new update to the Pincer formation. Okay, if you guys missed that video, check it out on the channel. It's very, very critical that you don't make any mistakes before Pincer 2 comes out, before the update to Pincer comes out. So definitely watch that video. Okay, I know it's a little bit long, but you know, this is going to be very important for the future of your account. The new special inscription bulwark for the flag armament will be added to the armament shop. And again, this is something I mentioned in that video. I said, guys, save your coins in the courier station. They're just gonna put it here. Okay, they're just gonna, if you have the inscription shards, save them. They're just going to add it here on day one. Again, I was right about that. So if you didn't watch that video, you missed out, but check it out now. Also, after the version update, the new special inscription dominate for the scroll armament will be added to the inscription shop in newly opened Season of Conquest Lost Kingdom. So RIP to me, I'm in KVK and I will be able to buy an inscription because we won KVK. However, this will only be available to Season of Conquests that are newly opened. So that always sucks. I mean, I wish they would add it to the one I'm already in, but it is what it is. Actually, the KVK is going to be closed by the time that this update happens anyway, so it doesn't even matter. It doesn't affect me either way, so whatever. All right, next adjustment, army group feature adjustments added a quick join feature. Okay, optimize the army group interface, allowing you to quickly view the status of each troop and the number of remaining units. Added a unit type recommendation option when creating an army group, allowing you to recommend a unit type to governors who join it. That's really good. Okay, in my current KVK, I was using army groups quite a bit. They are really strong. Army groups are really strong. If you're not using them as a kingdom, you need to be using them. Okay, army groups that have mixed troops are basically at the mercy of the slowest infantry commander. Okay, or if somebody's running like a Zhuge YSG or something insane like that, but whatever the slowest army is there, that's the march speed of the whole army group. So it's kind of annoying if you want to run all cabs, okay, and then you know somebody throws a a CPO Ragnar in there. Basically you just kick them from the kingdom. But either way, this is nice. Okay, we like that. The fact that it's a recommendation is annoying. I'd rather it be a limitation, right? You can only send cabs. If you don't have cabs, don't join, right? That's what I would prefer, but this is a step in the right direction. It's just like with Rally Garrison, right? Like, you can say, oh, I want all cabs, and then somebody sends archers, like, okay, kick them from the alliance. But either way, cool little update here. When a troop in an army group is attacked, the governor controlling that troop will also receive a notification. That's good. Alliance bounties now include quest types that require controlling army groups to kill enemy units. Fantastic. This is going to encourage more people to use army groups, which we like. Added a new series of achievements that require controlling army groups to kill enemy troop units. So this is also really good because one of the questions that I had in this KVK was like, okay, I don't mind operating an army group, but like, do I get anything out of it? And the answer is no. The answer is that you get the satisfaction of knowing that you're the reason so many armies are on the field, right? People are at work, people are at school, they can't play, but because you are online fighting, you get to control their units, and because of that, there's more armies on the battlefield. And that's the benefit that you get, is that there's more armies on the battlefield, right? And so the battlefield is going in your favor more likely. Okay, but now it looks like there will be achievements for that, so now there's more of an incentive to actually do this, right? Which is cool. Now it's an achievement. It's probably going to be like, okay, you killed 1 million units, here's a 3-hour speed up, right? It's probably not going to be anything crazy, but hey, it's still something. So I like that. Big updates here. Happy to see that army group feature is pretty good. Optimized Ark of Osiris battle display. The battle interface and points panel now displays both sides Anubis challenge progress. Corresponding icons will be highlighted based on the time each Anubis is defeated, allowing governors to quickly view the type and quantity defeated by each side. Battle records now include information information on Anubis defeats. Okay, cool. The spectate interface now displays both sides of Anubis challenge progress and defeat times. Added Arc of Osiris and Anubis icons to strategic view and adjusted the order of the filter list. Okay, fantastic. They've added more information for Anubis for everybody involved. We love to see that. Optimized Osiris League and Arc of Osiris visual display. Optimized the presentation of city themes. Arc of Osiris interface now displays the list of combatants, key combatant city themes, and more. Okay, that's pretty cool. Integrated simplified visual effects into light mode. The original simplified visual effects option has been merged into light mode. That makes sense. I don't know why it wasn't originally. Like, they should just be the same thing. Like, if you want light mode, you want simplified visual effects, so makes sense. Updated the visual and sound effects of active skills for Markswoman, Dragon Lancer, Sarka, Belisarius, and El Cid. Okay, so this bullet point right here, this is actually so critical that, and people aren't even gonna realize why this is important. What this means is whenever a developer goes in and updates the most useless, pointless bullshit, what that means is they have no intention of the game being any less popular for the next year or two. Okay, when you see developers focusing on things that literally don't even matter, that means that development for the game is still well underway. Things are healthy, things are looking good, things are positive for the game. That's how I read it, at least as a player, right? I don't actually have any insider information here, but again, like, we're getting updated visual effects for Dragon Lancer and Sarka. We're never gonna see the active skill of Sarka. No one's ever used Sarka's active skill since the game launched. Okay, I'm obviously just kidding, but my point is, okay, when they're updating pointless stuff like that nobody ever looks at ever, then it's like, okay, that means they're focusing on the early game, clearly, right? I mean, that's great news for the early game, which means they're still working on perfecting the early game and encouraging new players to join and all that stuff. So this is actually like a little bit of a sign, an indication that the game is in a healthy position development wise, because they're using development resources on stuff that literally does not matter. So I'm really glad to see that. That's actually a bigger deal than you might think. Okay, at least for me, I'm really happy to see that. All right, optimize the display of armament and inscription descriptions. When a description is too long, you can now scroll to view it in full. Okay, fantastic. That's probably a little bit of foreshadowing for Pincer 2. Okay, they're gonna start to put novellas in these special inscriptions, so I'm not looking forward to that because we already have super long commander skills. I mean, look at Hector, for example, like, it's crazy. But either way, I'm glad you can now scroll there. Optimized commander sharing. Governors will not be able to share commanders that are unavailable in the current season. So yeah, I don't know what the deal was there. I guess if you were DMing a player that was in KVK1, you could share your, Ragnar Prime, and they'd be like, who's that? What the heck, Ragnar Prime? I guess that makes sense. Other features: optimized the conduct score system, added a monthly good conduct reward. Governors who maintain the maximum conduct score with no deduction record throughout the month can claim the reward at the start of the following month. Alliance leaders and officers can now view the status of members with a conduct score below 81 in the member interface. There's listen, I'm just gonna say this and I won't say anymore. Okay, the conduct score system is deeply flawed. Deeply is deeply flawed. So I think there are a lot of this whole system needs a lot of work. Okay, it needs a lot of work to really accomplish what they are allegedly trying to accomplish. Okay, not going to go into any details there because I don't want to open Pandora's box. Okay, but my point is, this is good, right? I mean, rewards for governors that don't break the rules, fantastic. Obviously that encourages good behavior. If it's an 8 hour speed up, then it's like, okay, well, I mean, like, what's 8 hours a month is like nothing, right? So I don't expect this to be a massive reward, but at the same time, I think that there are more important optimizations that need to be done to the conduct score system for it to be effective. And hopefully this is just step one, right? This is step one in the right direction, and then we'll see further optimizations in the future. But either way, cool stuff here. So that's pretty much it for the update. Actually, a lot of stuff coming. There's actually a lot of stuff coming with this update, which is really exciting stuff. Big events, new KVK, new gathering commander, brand new event, even updates to bastions, updates to pincer formation, lots of really cool things coming to Rise of Kingdoms in just a week. The only thing that I would say is a little disappointing is that we don't hear anything about special KVK story commanders, right? That's the only thing that is like missing here that makes me feel a little bit like, oh, like maybe we're not getting another archer, which would be unfortunate for archers for sure. Like, let me just be abundantly clear, archers with Alp Arslan, he did not solve the archer problem, okay, and he could potentially solve it if he has another commander to pair with. So, you know, that's kind of where the archer community is at right now. So you know, I think a lot of archer players are going to be on the edge of their seat trying to find out, are we getting new commanders for this? If not, are we getting another KVK story by the end of the year that will feature a new archer? That's kind of where my thoughts are at. But besides that, everything else in the update has been good. I mean, really, like, I don't think there's anything negative in this update at all of this is just good stuff. So I'm really happy to see that. They did not ask for our feedback on these patch notes, so that is something worth noting. But if they do, definitely give them feedback on that. But guys, let me know what you think about this update in the comment section below. While you're down there, drop a thumbs up on the video. It really helps out the channel a ton. And if you're new here, consider subscribing to the channel. If you think you're subscribed, you might not be. Double check down below and click the bell to be notified the next time I upload breaking news for Rise of Kingdoms. And with that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching. This has been Omniarch. I'll talk to you guys again soon. Peace.